All right, hey, living environment fans. It is Thursday, May 17th, and no, May 16th. Getting ahead of myself. May 17th. We don't have school. We don't have school tomorrow on Friday the 17th. Yeah, it's great. So today's our last day before a nice long weekend, and we're wrapping up our frogs this week. This has been like Frog Week. In fact, today we're going to talk a little bit about how frogs are endangered species, or invasive species, not endangered, invasive species, and what does that mean? And also we'll take a closer look at the frog anatomy again, and that kind of thing. And then you may have noticed that I'm not in the building today. Right, I've had to be somewhere else, so I know you're going to do this Bellringer puzzle lesson about frogs dissections, and then you're going to read about frogs as invasive species. And if you have lab, you're going to see a little video about frogs as invasive species as well. And don't forget, Treetops Valley is due today if you didn't finish it yesterday. Let's do today's bell ring.
All right.
Hey now.
Mr. Kovacs class. It's Mr. Kovacs class. You might learn a ton. It's Mr. Kovacs class.
He's interested too.
It's Mr. Kovacs class.
And he's super cool.
It's Mr. Kovacs class.
Ribbit. Frogs, glorious frogs. Yes, look at the beautiful frogs that we were looking at. We were looking at American bullfrogs, and we were doing some dissection of them. And of course, the purpose of doing dissection of them is get an idea of the internal and external anatomy of frogs, and also compare them to our own. Right, so it's a lesson in comparative anatomy, right? First of all, you tell me, which kingdom do frogs belong to? Good. All right. In the animal kingdom, which phylum do they belong to? Good. Of all the animal animal kingdom, of all the animal, I can't do this right. In all the chordate phylum, there we go. Which class are they in? Good. Yes, they are amphibians. Look up American bullfrog, and in the space provided here, write the scientific name of the American bullfrog. Good. All right, we looked at bullfrogs. They have this nice dark coloration. It's probably natural selection, right, has picked that as camouflage, because when you look at the pond from above, the bottom of the pond is usually dark and murky. So these guys would blend in from predators that were hunting from above, things like herons or hawks or minks or things like that. And then from below, they're not dark, but that's because it's also probably camouflage too, because they probably are hunted from things from underneath, like snapping turtles and stuff like that. And they would look, the darkness, if they were dark, it would stand out against the light background of the sky at the top of the pond. So it's probably a little bit of camouflage on both ways. And it's natural selection, of course. We know picks camouflage. Those organisms that blend in the best are more likely to have offspring, and therefore we call it stabilizing selection. Yeah, we looked at the outside of the old frogaroo. You saw this, its eardrum, which is also known as, good. And then you should have seen also on its eye, it's got this extra like clear layer called the, yeah, that's right, the nictitating membrane. Then we went inside the mouth, right? You just notice how the tongue was stuck in the front of the mouth. We saw these two tubes that were known as the, good. You see the internal nares, that's where the nose, they breathe in, right? It comes into the pharynx, this big area here. You have all those same features. This is the the glottis, right? The opening above the esophagus. And then we cut up and into the viscera of the frog. And one of the most, well, you tell me, what was the big thing that you saw first? Very good. And then sitting on top, this little triangular thing. Good. And then you saw lots of like little fat bodies and that kind of stuff. Off to the side, right, behind the liver was, should have seen the stomach, which makes enzymes that digest protein. What's the name of that enzyme again that digests protein in the stomach? Good. Right? And then there's small intestine, and if you were able to poke around in there, you saw the large intestine or the colon as well. The job of the small intestine is? Nice. How about the job of the large intestine? Good. Yeah, all part of the digestive system. Right? Remember digestion? Food goes in and has to be broken into pieces, and then those pieces need to be absorbed into the blood so they can be delivered to tissues to help build tissues. Of course, frogs also are air breathers, right? They're kind of weird as little guys, tadpoles. They breathe with gills, and they breathe water. But as adults, they have small little lungs. They breathe air, and then the purpose of the lung is to. That's right. And then that blood travels through a closed circulatory system, which is maintained by the pumping action of the heart, right? This organ here. This organ is a little different than ours because it only has one ventricle, 2 atria, 1 ventricle. Yeah, and we saw lots of other features too. The large intestine, there's the stomach, nice big, strong muscular organ. The spleen, you probably saw, not in this picture, not see it visible in this picture, but you probably saw the kidneys as well. When you took the liver out, that kind of thing. Yeah. So we're become experts in frogs. So today, Bellringer, after you finish this Bellringer, right, you've got an Ed Puzzle video to watch about frogs, then a notes page, which will describe the Chiricahua leopard frog and its problems with other frogs being invasive species. In fact, look up invasive species right now and tell me, what does that mean? Good. And then if you have lab today, you're going to see an awesome video called Fearsome Frogs. It's all about the frog invasion of the Arizona desert. And you'll see how they dealt with that and those kinds of things. So have a good day, and then it's the weekend, long weekend. All right. See you on Monday.